Hi, I'm Dennis O'Hora, and I'm going to speak to you today about the Open Science Framework, OSF.io, as a notebook and a website for VIP projects. So I'm the Director of Vertically Integrated Projects program here at University of Galway, and also the Director of our Masters in Consumer Psychology. So who am I? As I said, I'm the Director of VIP here at University of Galway. I'm also co-PI, so I work as leader of a team with a colleague of mine from engineering, Dr. Owen King, on Worlds of Sound. It's our vertically integrated project. In that we look at both the physics of sound, but also the subjective experience of sound. So I'm an experimental psychologist and behavioral scientist, and I bring the subjective side to that story, and I focus on learning and decision making and behavior change. I'm also very interested in open science, and in that vein, I am an ambassador for Centre for Open Science. That's not an employed role. I actually just do this voluntarily since I like the Centre for Open Science products and what they can do for researchers, but also what it could do to help us make our science more open. I'm also a catalyst as part of the Berkeley Initiative for Transparency in the Social Sciences. So what is the Open Science Framework? Well, the OSF, or Open Science Framework, is run by the Centre for Open Science, and it's a way for you to host your research materials, and it's free to use, an open platform that you can use to structure your work, to host your data, and communicate your work to other scientists. And it's science focused, but not necessarily limited to science. We have here at Galway in our Open Scholarship team, we're often looking at how it is we can help disciplines in the humanities and other scholarly disciplines to work and make their processes more open and to share more of their processes. So the take-home message in this video is that OSF is a useful project management tool that provides a lab notebook solution and a meeting record, and it easily generates open outputs for academic and funder dissemination to build you and your team's profiles and networks. So if you're watching this, I assume you're either leading a VIP project or you may be directing a VIP program, and this is what we're going to use OSF for. It's going to be primarily project management, solving that lab notebook problem, and then generating open outputs. Here on the right, you can see the little snapshot of our Worlds of Sound OSF page. So project management. Well, typical VIP, as any large project, will have work packages or sub-projects that you're doing from time to time. And you can nicely divide that up in OSF so that you can say, okay, maybe we've got folks doing a amount of work this semester. We might have another different amount of work we're going to do next semester. All of these can be components in a project. Alternatively, you might have a technical team and you might have a dissemination team, and those components can be managed separately within the your overall VIP. You will also have outputs. You'll have dissemination outputs, probably presentations, maybe posters. You might have papers that you're generating, or even ethics applications that are shareable, and those outputs can be shared through OSF. Might want to share some data that you've collected. You might just want to host data, and you can host data on OSF. And also you will have meetings and lab notebooks. We can use the wiki feature of OSF to handle recording meetings and providing lab notebooks. So if we have a look here, this is our Worlds of Sound vertically integrated project. You can see here that on the right-hand side of this page, as you're looking at it, you'll see 3 components. Now you can see the 2 components with little locks on them because you're looking at this project from using my user credentials. If you came to this project as a member of the public, you would only see the World of Sounds dissemination component. But I can use those components to structure the work of the project. So we have a lab notebook where we record our meetings and anything we need to record there. We have our data repository where we record the data for the project, which includes sound data and location data and so on. And so all of that can be nicely structured. So lab notebooks or meeting records, we use wikis that use the Markdown syntax to record meetings and actions. And I've provided a notebook template in the project template that's available. So this is a meeting, an example meeting. This was early in our VIP, where the agenda, at this stage of the semester, I was introducing the students to OSF, so I was making sure that they were signed up. I had provided them screen recording so that they could do some work, figure out how to upload files and so on. We then had expenses of the project that we needed to figure out. Our sound meters were heavy on batteries, and the students wanted to know could they get the batteries reimbursed, so we were dealing with that. And then we reviewed the tasks from the previous meeting, and then we generated new tasks. And we were able to document all of that as we were going along, and then we could go back to it anytime we wanted to. Now, this approach solves the meeting record and lab notebooks, does solve an issue in that OSF is not dependent on, say, the students or faculty's university membership. So if you are using OneDrive or you're using OneNote to do this, then that's dependent on your login, to your university login. And that will expire as soon as people leave. That sometimes is an issue that you'll have to deal with. If you start with OSF, you're insulating yourself from that potential problem downstream. So open outputs, while working on a project, you're going to keep the project restricted until the materials that you have are at the stage where you want to make them public. You never have to make anything public. You make what you want public when you feel like it. You grant access to your team members. You can also grant a non-bibliographic access, so to assessors, like individuals who might be marking your project for class credit. And so under contributors there, you'll see those who are working on the project. You can't see the individuals who have access to this project but are non-bibliographic members. To make a page public, you simply press the button in the top right hand corner that says make public. And in this case, this is already public, so we can press make private to make it private. You can switch that on or off as you feel. So don't feel like you're going to mess anything up by making it public and then, oh, you can't make it private again. That's fine. You can make it public. If it's an accident, you can make it private again. Also, if you have a main page and you have components, if you can make your main page public, it will not make your private components public unless you decide to do that. Each of those decisions you make as you go. It's a question that often comes up. People are afraid to make their main project public because they're afraid that the private section might be visible. But as I said previously, those private sections will just be invisible to the public, where they'll be visible to you from your user login. So these two components here are invisible to the public, but are accessible to all the team members. So dissemination, the OSF allows us to build a publicly accessible website very quickly and easily. We in our teams can use the URL for the site to promote the project. This will enable researchers and funders to find our projects. And that means that we have projects that are citable with DOI and licenses. So this is great for students who want to have evidence that they can put in their CV that they've been working on a research project. Here you have some nice, they can link to the project using the URL, or they can provide the citation. You can also use tags to help others find your work. So if here we've used the VIP tag to tag our webpage on OSF. So that means if someone clicks on VIP and they're looking for VIP projects, they will find our project. So here We can see this is again going back to our Worlds of Sound project. You can see the list of team members here. Those are named and they will appear in the citation of the page. You can see that we have a DOI assigned to this page and also that we have a CC BY license. The citation is here. If anyone wants to cite this page, they can simply click the drop-down menu and get a citation in APA or other formats. So let's step back for a moment, and why might we want to design to enable our VIPs to be shared openly? Well, facilitating transparency, communication and collaboration of all aspects of the scholarship process benefits everyone. It benefits us as scholars in that we increase our impact, our awareness of the literature and findings. It benefits institutions and it increases their visibility and their impact. It benefits taxpayers because they get a better return on investment. And it allows us to share best practices from every step of our scholarship journey. That will make solutions to worldwide challenges more likely. So what next? Well, if you'd like to try OSF for your vertically integrated project, I suggest you check out the OSF page for this talk, which will be available in a link in the description below, and also the OSF template for a VIP project. This has the template for the lab notebook as a component of that. You can simply duplicate that project to make your own VIP project. So if you're here in Georgia Tech, catch me at the break if you'd like me to help you move your work to OSF. And if not, send me an email and I'll be able to connect you with some resources or perhaps with a Center for Open Science ambassador closer to your location. Okay, thank you very much for your time. And you can contact me at dennis.o'hora@universityofgalway.ie. Thank you.